Mindy. Good afternoon. How are we all? Happy New Year. Just check we are live. Yes, we are. Well, it says I am. Maybe not. Yes, we are. That's okay. Yeah, turn that off. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Feels strange being back. Feels good. Back to a bit of normality. I'm still getting my head around it. It feels like Monday. I keep thinking it's Monday, and then I'm like, no, it's Thursday. I've got my live. So yeah, trying to get things organised has been a bit of a struggle in my head. I think we all get that way, don't we? After holidays and whatever, getting back into the routine. It's hard. As you may be aware, I had Dell off. The run up to Christmas, he was unwell. So yeah, that made it even longer. That was unusual. But yeah, we had a good Christmas. Obviously, Dell was unwell, so Dell stayed at home. Me and Hayden went up to visit my dad and spent a few days with my dad. Had Christmas dinner up there, and then we drove back Christmas evening to be back for Hayden for Boxing Day because that's his birthday. Him and his boyfriend were going to his boyfriend's grandparents, Nan's house, for dinner. So yeah, so that was nice. So we had a nice quiet one, me and Dell. But yeah, it was nice, very chilled. Lots of time to relax. So yeah, I hope you all had a lovely holiday, whether it be Christmas or however you spend it. New Year, we stayed in. We had a very quiet one, watching movies. So that was nice. We don't pay to go out. Not paying to go out. I don't go out anyway. I don't drink no more, so would be silly. I know you don't have to drink when you go out, but I just can't be bothered. But I have turned over a new, I've got my positive head on. I was like, right, when was the last time I wore makeup? I actually made an effort. I'd stop wearing makeup and everything. So today I thought I'd make a little bit of an effort for you all, except for the hair, because the hair doesn't know what it's doing, and the roots, that's backwards, isn't it? The roots are horrendous. My fault. I missed my last appointment, and then I haven't made the time to go. So yeah, lots of things coming up. On the 7th, nothing's really happening at the moment till the 7th. There's the last chance products that I told you about before. Check those out. Things are selling out fast. I have to keep updating myself. But on the 7th, we've got the new catalogue, which I have here. Can't show you the inside. Yeah, that goes live on the 7th. Thanks, Mindy. And also Sale-A-bration, where you can earn free products. And the new scrapbooking brochure goes live on the 7th as well. So yeah, I can send you a hard copy of those if you would like, the catalogue and the Sale-A-bration. But we haven't got a hard copy of the scrapbooking brochure, unfortunately, but it is available online, as are the catalogues, for you to have a nosy at on the 7th. When is the 7th? I don't know, because I don't know where I am. And the 7th's next Tuesday, so not long. I did do a little pre-order of new stuff. just a few things, and I've put in a second order. So when that comes, I'll just share with you what new bits I've got out the catalogue, so you can have a look at what they look like and everything else. Right, this week I've been sharing with you the pick a season stamp set. Let's just swap cameras. There we go. I don't want my cup of tea, do we? Okay. So yes, I've been sharing the pick a season stamp set. I think I need to bring you in a little bit closer. You can see. There we go. That's better, isn't it? And this is a free item that will be available with every £55 spend. You can choose. You get to choose what you want. There's, don't make you have anything. But yeah, this is one of those, and I like this because I thought, with it having the opportunity to change the images, it'll be good for quite a few different occasions. Now, I did make some, as I've said, this week that I'm sharing, but I've got a couple of ideas that are inspiration of other people that I've seen online, and some ideas of my own. So I thought that's what we'll do today. So I need, as you can see, I've been playing with fences. Let's get some stamps already. So we'll have our large tree top image, and we want our trunk. Will that fit on a smaller one? Yes, it will. I do like to use a smaller block as possible because it gives you more control. Because if you put a tiny stamp, let's grab these little flowers. My screen keeps freezing. I don't know if yours does. I've got nothing running on the internet. If we put those on a block this size, it can wobble. It's very unstable. But if we go for the best block possible, then it's a lot more stable. So always go to the smallest block you have available. Yeah, and then we're going to use, we've got these little shamrocks, which you can't really see, but here it's a little trio of shamrocks. So we're going to use that. So I need that little block that I've just put back. Okay. And now these aren't quite square, our blocks. And I always find one way is easier for me to hold than the other. Okay, so let's grab some card. And I'm going to trim this down because I haven't got an oblong die. So I am going to trim it down. And I'm going to trim it to 7. Let's try 7. Is that big enough? Oh no, maybe we're not. 8. That's 8. So that's 2 centimeters off my norm. My normal layer would be 10. So I've gone 2 centimeters smaller. Now my normal layer would be 14.4. So 2 centimeters smaller is 12.4. Just to keep it all in proportion for our card base. Now, because these are photopolymer, we need a stamping mat. Mine's still covered. So we'll use that just to give us a little bit of cushioning. So I want to use, I'm going to be bringing in the Thoughtful Journey papers to put behind this. So I want to choose my paper so that I can choose my colours, because I thought this would look quite nice against it, and I think that one will look nice. And we've got in here, I forget the colours, there's lots of colours in this. Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock. There isn't a brown as such, so we can use which we want. Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to go Mossy Meadow, but I am going to bring in Old Olive as well, because that's tonal with Mossy Meadow. Garden Green would be a bit bright. We'll use these two. I mean, Shy Shamrock would be perfect to use really on this kind of, but we'll go with these. Okay, so I want a espresso for my tree trunk. I'm going to stamp my tree trunk. Just going to check that that's, yeah, it's a nice stamp. Do remember to pop on and say hello. I'd love to hear from you. If I don't catch your comment live, I will catch up on all comments later. I'm going to stamp in Old Olive with my leaves. That way. Just going to line that up. There, but it doesn't have to be exact. There isn't an exact position for this stamp. And then we'll bring in our Mossy Meadow, which is our darker green, and we'll bring in our shamrocks. Are shamrocks 3 or 4? I get confused. I should educate myself, shouldn't I? I'll just bring those in. There's only a subtle difference to this, which is nice. Might not be able to see on screen. Oh, you can. There you go. Just a very subtle difference. Just allows them to stand out without being in your face too much. Because the paper we're using, that's quite a subtle. I'm going to do some grass along the bottom, and we do have a little grass stem. We also have some little leaves. Do we use leaves or do we use grass? Leaves make it look like it's autumn, won't it? Yeah. So we will go grass. And grab another small block. I do have another. And I'm going to do that in the Mossy Meadow too. Just so that the tree isn't stood in midair. There we go. Just gives that a little bit. Good afternoon, Cheryl. How are we? I hope you're well. We're having a play with the pick a season. Okay. There we go. That's our little stamped focal point on our card. And then I'm going to pop that onto a layer of Mossy Meadow, I think. But that's not big enough. No, but I could trim that down, couldn't I? Right. See, using up our scraps. So we know that that's 8. So I'm on 8.5. There we go. Just wondering if that's maybe a bit too much. We'll see. We can always trim it in a moment. So we'll trim that to, that's 11. 11.6. I want to pick my paper. I'm going to do that to my standard size, which is 10 by 14.4. You've not got this stamp set yet, Cheryl. I quite like it. I've done a few bits with it, and I'm enjoying playing with it. Is that right? No, that does seem a little bit too thick. So I'm going to trim that down to 8.3. I know it's only a couple of mil, but that couple of mil can make a big difference. I think we can go down again. Was that 8? It's not 8. It's not quite 8. That's why. It's a bit shy of 8. So let's do 8.1 and see what we get. See, this is what it's all about. Trial and error. That's better. Just a nice thin. Okay, so that was 11.6 or thereabout. So we'll trim that down to 11.3 and see where we're at. That's good. That just gives that a nice little border on there. So we can stick that on there now. I'm being indecisive today. There's me, all positive. And then I get a bit indecisive. Oh, this is why I should plan, really, isn't it? But it's much more fun to just craft on the hoof and just go with it. Right, so I want my card base to be Old Olive. Let's find, I've got one already done here. I keep all my cards in these plastic wallets in magazine racks, and it's fab because they're easier to find. It keeps them all neat. Thank you, Cheryl. It's pretty, isn't it? Just very simple. Simple stamping. That's what we like sometimes. There are times where we like to create these extravagant projects. Cheryl, is this keep freezing for you? Because it's freezing for me. Yeah, there's times we like to create these projects with lots of die cuts and stamping and layers, but there are times when all you need is simple stamping. And a lot of the times it depends on the stamp set. I find that simple stamp sets like this, where the image, if you've not noticed any freezing, oh, that's okay then, thank you. Mindy, you need to move, thank you. And then we're going to place that on there, but I'm going to use dimensionals just to raise that up. The cat's coming back. This has always been the most unfussy cat that we've had. And now she's the fussiest. I mean, yesterday she was letting me pick her up and cuddle her, and she's never done that. But I cleared my one trolley off for her. I've got a trolley here with my die cutting machines on. Cleared that off, gave her that as a little bed. And she's on there most of the time. But of course, when I'm here, she keeps trying to come and have fuss, which can be a bit of a pain. Because it's usually when I'm in the middle of something. Like now. Bless her. Okay, so we just added our dimensionals on there. And then we'll pop that on there. And then we just want some embellishments on there. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. I don't think it needs it. And then it can be used for whatever reason we want it to. Right, I've got garden green, but I think that might be a bit twine. It's not that bright. That's a possible. Or we can find some embellishments. See what embellishments we've got. I think most of those that I've got that are green are quite bright. If there's anything else. I've got bush brush butterflies. I use those so much often. No. Oh, I'll just show you these. Look at those. How pretty are those? Those are another of the Sale-A-bration offerings that you can choose for £55 spend. Beautiful. But they won't quite get... Oh, they would actually. They're pulling that pink. I've got these ones. Now, I think we're going to have to use a bow on there. Because there's nothing else. Or I could bring in the pretty peacock from the paper. Decisions. I'm not sure. No, don't like those. I'll have to do a bow. Yeah. And we'll just do a little bow. I'm not sure, you know. That's too heavy, even though it's so little. Not liking it. Not liking it. So it's going to be... Where are my butterflies? I've got through so many packs of these, but they just work with so many things. And they're subtle as well. I can just have one up there. There we go. Just 3 little brush butterflies. And then we can do the inside of our card, which is something I need to make sure I'm doing a lot more on these lives, is my insides. So I'll just grab a standard white layer, and what I'm going to do for this one is just put a panel of the matching paper down the inside. Now I know some people, or as I do, sometimes I stamp. I'm just going to cut a centimetre strip. I'm going to cut it from that way. Sometimes stamp. It's nice to stamp in them, but also when you're using a designer series paper, that's a nice way to follow it through to the inside. Bit of glue on that, and then I'll just pop that in about 1/2 centimetre from the edge. There we go. I'll trim that off. Another rubbish. Yeah, it's quite hard to believe, isn't it, that we're 2025 already. Yeah. It's when I'm watching things and they say they're from 1990 odd, and I'm like, oh, it's not that long ago. And yeah, it is. Nearly 30 years. Great. There we go. That's a really simple card, just using a simple stamping and a piece of the Thoughtful Journey DSP. So that's our first one. Right, so let's just clear some of this up, and we shall take a look at another one. I'm just going to have a drink of tea. And better clear my stamps because I will need some of them again. This is got to be the best way to clean your stamps. Stampin' Scrub and Stampin' Mist. It's excellent. Doesn't hurt your stamps in any way. Get no residue build up. Gives them a good clean. And it's washable, so you just keep using it, wash it, use it, wash it. Excellent. Right, so for our second card, I'm going to use one of the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I'm going to die cut a circle that's big enough to fit this on, which is going to be that one. That out the way, and we're gonna die cut. I don't think that's quite. Oh, it is. We might get away with that. I'll bring in my mini machine because this will fit through here. And my plates. My plates really need a good scrub. You see how dirty they look? That's where the cards got stuck in the grooves. Doesn't affect its use at all. Won't hurt. But on white cards, sometimes you can find it starts to transfer. So that's why I always have that as my lower plate. So that's the back of what I'm using. So if it does get dirty, it's not an issue. But I do like to give them a scrub every now and again. And if I get little bits like that stuck on there, I'll just scrape them off with my other plate. Okay, it's a spare piece, and that needs cleaning, so I'll clean that after. We've got our circle. We've got one little piece that hasn't come out there. There we go. In fact, it isn't dirty on the back. It hasn't transferred over, which is good. Alright, so we're bringing our stamping mat again, and I'm going to stamp this, but I'm going to go a lot more subtle, I think, on these. So we will use, or shall we go brights? Let's go brights. Granny apple green, why not? Was going to go subtles, we'll now go brights. That's how I feel. It's a lovely bright day outside today. It's cold. We've had a frost. The grass is white. But yeah, it's lovely. So sunny. Alright, so I'm going to stamp that somewhat central. Excellent. And then on a separate piece, which this little piece here should be okay, I'm going to stamp my trunk. But this time, I think we will use pecan pie. I don't want it quite so dark with us using brights. Let's try what that. Yeah, because that's brighter. There we go. Excellent. And I'm going to fussy cut this tree trunk. I'm just leaving a border, and as I've said before, it just makes it easier. Don't have to be quite so precise. It's a bit more forgiving with a border. Around there. And as you can see, I'm just moving the cardstock round, keeping my scissors still. Just bits of wiggles just so it's not a straight line, because the tree isn't a straight line. Okay, there we go. That'll fit in there. No, that way. Like so. And then we're going to use our little flowers, I think. Yeah, we'll use our roses on this one. Then we'll pop our little shamrocks away, clover, whichever it is. Get our roses, and I'm going to go a colour. Something really bright and in your face. Berry burst, I think. Let's just see what that looks like. Do you know what? It's a colour I never use. Melon Mambo. Don't know why. And I am not going to clear my stamp because I'm doing pink on pink. So I'm just going to check that there's no excess on there. There we go. Let's go Melon Mambo. I don't know what it is, why I don't grab it. It's a lovely colour. But yeah, it's not one of the colours I go to naturally. Now I know Cheryl, she loves a bit of Melon Mambo. Or any pinks and purples really. It's funny, isn't it, how we all have our colours that we go to. Now that looks lovely. That was definitely the right colour choice for the look I'm going for. Right. And then I think I'm going to sponge a background. She says, find another piece. Or blender background, should I say, not sponge. I should have brought in my glass mat really. But, I can grab it actually. I've got room on here. Here we go, Kat. Thank you very much. Out of my way. There we go. So, Mindy, come on. We've got our glass mat, which is perfect for blending on. And I want Coastal Cabana. I need to buy some more blending brushes because I have washed these. The majority of it's out, but there is still a bit of green in there. I'm just going to check what that will do to the Coastal Cabana because I don't want the colour to merge and make it a bit of a, yeah, it is. It's making it a bit murky. So I'm going to use what was my yellow brush that now has nothing on it. That one's gone clean. With this, and I'm going to order some more. Okay, I'm just inking that up, and then we'll start off and go on. I just want to create a background. Now I love blending. I'm not a perfect blender, but I think it's such a fabulous technique to create your own backgrounds and shading. And with using a glass mat, you don't waste any ink, whereas if you use grid paper or paper, a lot of the ink goes into, absorbs into that paper. As this way, because it's on glass, it doesn't, and you just keep picking it back up so you can pop it onto your card. Now, I'll just keep going at this. It does take a little bit of time, but it is so worth it. Because sometimes you don't just want the coloured cardstock. You want the colour, but not as intense as what the cardstock is. And we are getting all the colours in the two-tone 12 by 12. So it'll be, thank you, Mindy. That'll be another variation that you can have. So you can have a lighter, but I still think blending the colour onto card is going to be an excellent way. Just making sure I'm picking up all that ink. And just add in that little bit more so it's that little bit darker. There we go. That's it. I can't do no more. hand's starting to hurt. So yeah, we have a nice blended background there. So it will soften as it dries, and on camera it looks a lot more patchy than it does here, but yeah, it will change as it dries. So if we're going to have that on there like so, and then well, I want to trim that down a bit, I think. I'm bringing in my mini guillotine to do this because I can take smaller bits off. I just want to take those hard edges that it's got. So I'm going to take it down to 9.5. And then I need to trim it to 13.9 this way. I think I want to take a bit more off each. So you can do little slithers on here. It's just I find it easier on my mini guillotine. Okay, there we go. Get rid of that. I haven't quite cut to the end on that. There we go. That's better. It hasn't got those harsh edges where the inks hit. And then we can layer that onto another piece of white to bring in the white. Or more. That's better. Yes, I like that. And then I think we're going to pop it onto a Melon Mambo card. No, we won't. Yes, we will. I'm just grabbing everything together that I need, and then I work in different ways. Sometimes I decide on colour of base that I'm using. Sometimes I shall make it all and then decide what colour base it's going to go on. Today I want a Melon Mambo card base. Excuse me. So I'm going to get that ready so I know I've got that, and then I can grab colours around that. So just a standard A6 card base, 10.5 by 14.9. Then that will go on there. And that brings in the pink. And then I'm going to see, how about if I grab just a scrap of Coastal Cabana. I've got one. Okay. That we can pop across. It brings that in. And then we can pop our sentiment on. And we could heat emboss our sentiment on there, couldn't we? So, yeah. Now, this stamp set doesn't have any sentiments. So, let's bring the Simply Said. Keep it simple. This has some great sentiments in it. Happy birthday is going to be too big. So we won't use that one. Then that would have been perfect. We can have a thanks. Thanks is nice. We use lots of thank you cards. So I'll use that. And let's do this. So I want my stamping mat. I need a block for my stamp. There we go. I need my heat embossing bits. I'm going to have it on this side. First, some mark ink. So what's everyone up to today? Cheryl, I presume you're working. My morning hasn't gone as I planned. My alarm went off at 8 o'clock. I was like, right, I'm going to get up, start work at 9, get done what I need to get done, do this, then I can have the afternoon. Yeah. My alarm went off at 9. I didn't get out of bed till... No, my alarm went off at 8. I didn't get out of bed till... gone 10 o'clock. So I sat and had my cup of tea, took my tablets and that. And then it was shower and ready, and then it's time. I've done a couple of little bits that I needed to do. Took some photos. They looked a bit different, not my norm. When I looked at them on my phone, but I thought, oh, maybe it's me, the light, my eyes, I don't know. And then by the time I digited them onto my computer, I was like, yeah, these aren't right. So they've gone. So I've got to retake my photos. But I think I know what I did. I think I'm with that. So just heat this. Cheryl's working and doing some planning. Excellent. Like planning. There we go. That's melted all of that. I did a little bit of work yesterday. Not a lot. Did some planning, got some things actioned. Some new things coming that I'm really excited about. Right, I'm happy with how that looks, so let's start sticking this together. Yeah, my classes. I've got a couple of those put on my website now, the first two, so they're available on my website to book. Partway through changing my lead magnet offering for my newsletter sign up. So yeah, there's things happening and it's all good. And what did I tried to do something yesterday and my head just wasn't. You know, sometimes when you think, oh, I'll do so-and-so, and then when you come to do it, you're just like, what am I doing? This just isn't working. Right, I just want to gauge where I want to put this. I think it needs to be around there. Now I know this is too wide, and I'll just trim it off. We'll pop that there. There we go, and then we can trim that. But yeah, sometimes my head just says, nope, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not going to work out how we're going to do that. Sorry. So yeah, that didn't get done. But never mind. It will get done at some point in the next few days. I've set myself a bit of a target. I'm doing my priority 3 tasks, but I'm trying to set it that nothing carries forward to the next week. So it's like a clear desk strategy where everything is done at the end of the week, so I don't carry nothing forward to the following week, and then I can start afresh. How long it'll go for, I don't know, and that's a goal. I'm not saying I'm going to achieve it every single week. I know I'm not, but it'd be nice to do it some weeks and to aim for that. I left that off because I didn't know if I was going to put any twine round, but I don't think I am. I'll just glue that down. So I did my tree and my circle with dimensionals just to give it that little bit of height. And then I'll pop that on there, like it. And then we can add some embellishments. So we'll go for, I don't think I've got any melon mambo. Have I got any calypso? Actually, I might have. Not quite melon mambo, are they? Can't, I think they were just pink. These have been around quite a while, but they are fantastic. I might go for these actually, calypso coral. Just pop a few of those around. Does it require? I'm wondering actually some clouds in the sky, because this stamp set has some clouds, and I'm thinking, I know this is a backwards way to do things, but don't come at me. Could do heat emboss a couple of clouds. So need to make sure we had a good covering of our embossing buddy, because we've got possibly damp wet ink still. We don't want our embossing powder to stick all over it. Now, I'm not fussed about these being a perfect stamp, but I need them to look right. Like I say, this is totally the wrong way of going about doing it, because I've completed the card, and then I could absolutely mess this up. You know what? That's the worst risk I'm gonna take. Hayden, don't laugh at me. Hayden's now joined. Would you like me to give you a whisk? I don't want a whisk, thank you. I've got a risk. Cheek. Okay. We'll just finish. Tweaking these. There we go. That's worked. It hasn't ruined it. I think that's just what it needed. If I'd have thought of it beforehand, it would have been better, because I could have put them popping out from behind. But they don't look. If you didn't know, you wouldn't think they were an afterthought. So that's okay. Right, so the inner, let's grab another piece of basic white and we will do our inner. And then we're done for today. And I think for our inner, I'm going to do the opposite of what I've just done and do it in the correct manner. So I am going to reverse mark, embossing buddy on here. I'm going to do it in the bottom corner because we don't want to take up too much space. But we want to have plenty of room to write our sentiment. Okay, I'll just add that there. Beautiful. And we'll just quickly heat that. There we go. Make sure that's dry. Let's have a sip of tea that's probably cold. Yes. All right, and then what I'm going to do is just, I've got a hair, blend onto here, just with what ink, maybe not. I don't think there's quite enough ink. I don't know. Let's see if I can get a bit more out of it. Yeah, that's it. Excellent. Let's just give that little bit of hint of the ink colour over those nice fluffy clouds. Then we can stick this one in. I need to get better at doing the inners on my cards. I mean, I always put a layer in, but more often than not, I don't actually do anything to it. And it just finishes it, doesn't it? Right, and there we go. Look at that, 2 minutes to spare. Great timing. Let's move all that out the way. Get rid of the rubbish. So there we have our 2 cards today using the free Pick a Season stamp set that will be available from the 7th of January. All you need to do is make a £55 purchase and you can choose that for free. Yeah, 2 very different cards by using the different colours and pairing them with different things. Let's swap you over. Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Cheryl. That's very kind. Cheryl says they're both gorgeous. Yeah, I'm glad I went with the brights instead of the subtles. I think that's worked well. And yeah, the Melon Mumbo was definitely the right choice for that. It's a colour I need to use more. And there you go. I've set myself another thing now. Use more Melon Mumbo. Right. Thanks very much for joining. Thank you if you're watching on the replay. Don't forget hashtag replay so that I can see. I love to see who's with me. And you can always catch all my other lives over on my YouTube channel. They're all uploaded over onto there. And don't forget, you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. Scrolling along the bottom, lisesloft.co.uk/newsletter, where you get all the latest information and inspiration. So thanks again. Bye.